People's capacity for empathy and understanding has diminished all around us over the time. In the 2014 movie Beyond the Lights, Noni crying to Cass says, I feel as if I'm suffocating in the middle of the street and no one seems to see that I am dying. This is a very tragic emotional experience for a speaker whose tribulations seem to go unnoticed, especially by the people that are around them. In the book of John, chapter 5, verse 7, we meet a man that has been in his condition for 38 whole years. Upon meeting him, Jesus asks him a very profound faith question: will thou be made whole? To which the man responds, Master, I am known for when the angel of God visits and stirs the waters of the pool that can push me so that I also get my healing. The man did not cry out for help. He said, I have no man. Jesus says, take your mat, rise and go. It is very easy to be comfortable in the gut once you're stuck in the rut for too long. But this man tried. For 38 whole years, he held out. But he was beaten to it every other time he tried. Maybe there was a time that he even rolled and made himself fall into the pool only to discover that he had been beaten to the miracle by somebody else that was maybe more able-bodied. All around the porches that surrounded the pool lay many important, less important, and more important compared to this man. There was the hustle and bustle of noise, people that sought for healing, friends, relatives, companions that would come to visit or stay with people that needed their miracles there, which begs the question, where was this man's friends, relatives, family? Who was helping this man with going to the toilet? Who was preparing food for this man? Who had initially brought them here and where were they when others were beating them to the count of entering the pool? We learned that there are people that can only help you to an extent, but they cannot go beyond a certain point. Some will help you only because you have become a burden to them. Thus, they want to remove you off their burden list so that you can take charge of yourself, whether you've gotten the breakthrough or not. Some, although they are filled with the spirit of altruism, genuine help, but they also reach a certain point in time where it is beyond their ability to help. You find out that this man had been broken, perplexed, dejected, abandoned. His faith was broken and his hopes had been dashed. You've been there, haven't you? That stage where amidst all the hustle and bustle of friends, colleagues, relatives, and all, you were going through the grind emotionally, psychologically, economically. You were going through it and you seemed to have no man. You had an issue that was weighing heavily on you, but it seemed as if you had no man to help you to share the burden. You have been there, haven't you? Where, like this important man, you say, Master, I have no one to push me into the pool of Bethesda. You've been heartbroken. You've been dejected and the trust that you had for some people broken. And you have been disappointed. You have felt abandoned. And through it all, you have no man you can confide into. And there is no man you can trust. Even though you have friends, relatives, family, but there is no one who's there for you. You might have been there for others, but at this particular moment, it seems you have no man to push you into it. It also happens that sometimes people that we hold so much in esteem, they hurt you so badly, and you feel so frustrated and dejected and perplexed, and you feel all alone, even though there are people around you. There is no man. Even if they might come someone, just like this man had friends who would give him maybe food or clean after him, but they could not get right through to his miracle to push him into the pool. Sometimes we have been broken so badly, we feel as if there is no one who understands us or who can discern or decipher the depth of our hurt. Even if some people can come to comfort us, we do not allow them because we believe they cannot take us into the pool. They are only good for your feeding. They are only good maybe for clothing you and for keeping you company. You have been damaging so much that you don't believe there is no other man that can go with you and last the distance. This man did not cry out to be helped into the pool. He said, I have no man. Just like the woman of Shunem, she had become very comfortable living without a child. She had been accustomed to lack. When the man of God said, by this time next year you shall be carrying child, she retorted and protested, no, man of God, do not mislead me. She no longer had any hopes that things would change for her. She no longer trusted that she could actually receive the one thing that she needed the most but couldn't get. You have been there where you've been so broken by other people. You've been broken by society. You've been broken. Even now you're comfortable in your lake of something. You don't believe that you could be fulfilled or satisfied or that the Lord could come through for you. You are now very fine with the condition that Jesus finds you in. You will notice that many people around us are going through the grind. Some have slid into depression. Some are suicidal. Some are living in lack, abject poverty, and some are dropping out of schools. Some are just living to get by. Some just need a little nudge, a push, so that their things could go right. But there is no man. There is absolutely no one to carry the day through for them. It's very hurtful to realize that sometimes there might be so many people around and you could feel that at least you can get some help from some people, but alas, no one comes through for you. You have to go through it alone. There was a time in the book of Revelation when John was taken in the spirit and he was shown a scroll that had seals that no one could open. The elders were there, the angels were there, but no one could open this scroll. John started crying. There were crowds, but these crowds could not open. The word of God says there was no one out of everyone who was there that could open the seals of the scroll. You have experienced this before, that even though there are groups of people that are around you, even though there are people with well-meaning intentions around you, but no one can reach the depth of which you need not only atonement, but maybe anointment, the healing oil, maybe from Gilead, to soothe your hurt spirit, but there is no one who can reach there. Until a voice was heard saying, now you can stop, for there is one who has been found worthy to open the seals of the scroll. Amidst it all, when you feel as if there is no one who can come through for you, there is Jesus Christ, who is very unconventional in his way, because this man was looking for a man who could push him into the pool. Jesus simply comes and says, take your mat, rise and go. Sometimes our eyes are so fixed on what we think might be the solution to what we are going through, and it seems as if nobody is able to come up with a solution leading to that. Jesus is waiting for you to just own it up and give it up and say, Master, you know better. I have looked around. There is no man who can fix this. There is no one that I believe can actually push me through in there. And Jesus says, rise, take your mat and go. In the world we are living today, there's so many people that just need someone but have no one. Even though there might be large numbers of people that are around, there is no one who gets them. Other people misunderstand them. Other people might actually be speaking without proper deciphering of their situation. Other people might have good intentions, but they do not just know how to help or how to come through for them. In a poem written by Stevie Smith called I'm Drowning, Not Waving, you find a situation where it describes someone who's gesturing and waving whilst they are in the waters, that I am drowning, I am drowning. And people that are on shore, they are speculating that, he has got skills to come out of this. We have seen him doing this before. We know he will be able to. And they misunderstand that he's actually calling for help. And until such a point when they lie motionless, dead, and they are in pain, this crushing pain of drowning could describe the drowning into maybe sickness, illness, mental illness, psychological illness. And the gesturing could also signify how sometimes we long for someone to just come and help us, but there's no one who's coming because everyone else is competing to get ahead of us. At the pool of Bethsaida, there are people that were even better looking, in shape and in health than this man who had been in his condition for 38 years. Others had been in their condition for lesser years, but they were competing to go ahead of this person. You have been there, haven't you? When people sought to go ahead of you, even stepping on your head, they did not care how much it would hurt you. You have been in this situation, you have also needed a breakthrough, and somebody adjusts to come and step on you so that they go to their next level, not realizing when they are coming back, they shall need also a learning, soft landing position, or they shall need you as stairs to come back down. Some people act as if they don't need anyone. But in the book of 1 Corinthians 12, there is a ministry which is equally important in the kingdom of God, called the ministry of helps. It is the same ministry that is found in the book of Acts chapter 4, verses 36 going on. There's a woman of Joppa called Dorcas, translated bit. This woman, even though she didn't have much, she made sure in a lifetime she was supporting the poor, she was supporting the widows and the orphans. In so much when she got sick and she died, all those people could not let her go into the land of the dead. They bathed her, dressed her up, and put her up in the upper room. Then they called the disciples. Peter comes and they show Peter the different articles that Dorcas was making for the less fortunate. And because Dorcas had done it earnestly with her whole heart just to help, these are used by Peter to move him to pray for Dorcas so that she comes back to life after Peter prays for her. Every good deed that you do, it is a bridge not only for you, but even for your children or for your children's children, even for the generations that are to come. And it doesn't mean that Dorcas had everything so that she shared what she had with others. There is no one who's too poor to give. If you don't have money, but you want to help on somebody, you can go into the forest, cut some firewood, and you give the firewood maybe to an old lady who does not have the strength anymore to cut down the wood. You can never be too broke to help someone. God has created us interlaced and correlated in a way that our goals or our breakthroughs, they lie with somebody else doing something for us. You can never survive alone. You cannot do it alone. And whatever good that you do, God is not mocked. Whatsoever you seed, it shall replicate or multiply, and you will reap of it 100-fold over, or even over, aboundingly increase and abounding increase. The problem is when we begin not to notice people that need our help in the community. Like in the poem, I'm not waving, but drowning. It is a metaphor for how sometimes we are mistaken or misunderstood by people just when we are calling out for help, and then they think we got it all figured out. They think we have it all and we can manage, whereas we are calling for help until such a time where maybe we might actually succumb. There are people that are not only suicidal and depressed, there are people that have literally committed suicide, murdered someone, or killed themselves because they thought the pressure they were going through, nobody could see them. There always should be someone who sees through someone to stop them from sliding into depression, to stop them from sliding into a condition that they will not be able to come back to. So many people are misunderstood, and so many people have got a chasm between where they are seeking for help and where the others are standing, not realizing they are looking for help. And you find that in the poem we've been talking about, the crowd had a certain idea about who this person was, but they did not understand what they were going through. And their misconception of what this person was going through and the assumptions that they could actually survive is the same that got this person killed eventually. There are many people in our communities that have died because we did not do our diligent duty to just maybe talk to them, to just maybe reach out and say, you know what, I might not have much, but this we can share. It is imperative that we help others because this is what Jesus taught us. And the Bible shows expressly that if we follow what Jesus said, there is an abounding reap for us. And when we help out, when we reach out and help others, it always comes back to us. We feel joyous, filled with joy. We feel happy. Helping others and reaching out, it makes our lives even easier. And also loving someone or having faith in someone without action. Faith without action is dead. We help others because God commanded. We help others because it makes us feel good about ourselves, about doing something right. We help others because it will be building bridges, friendships, and connections that might even come back to help us in the future. We help others because they need the help, in as much as someone else will also help us. And we help other people that are in need because at the end of the day, this is how God created us. We feel empathic towards others.